peeps, welcome to our Batter Up online class for the May paper pumpkin kit and our June projects. So let's get started. These are so fun. Not only are they great masculine cards, but with just a little bit of tweaking, you can make them for your favorite girlfriends too. So let's start with card number 1. For this, you're going to need your black or blue and white striped card. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to go ahead and get out the other 2 cards we're going to need. Okay. All right, so the first thing you're going to do is cut this card down. And I purposely have not done my homework because I wanted to make sure that all of you understood my instructions. So we are going to go ahead and fold that in half. You saw I burnished it with my bone folder to get that nice crisp edge. Now I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut off, make sure it's opening on the right, cut off a 1/4 inch on the right side, and then I'm going to cut off a 1/4 inch from the top. Now with the card closed, my card is 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. Okay, let's go ahead and take our red cardstock piece and we are going to glue this to the center of the card horizontally. And we're just going to go ahead and put that in the center. Now I purposely cut this card a little bit large because I wanted to make sure that this red piece was going to go side to side no matter where you cut your piece. So now I'm just going to flip this over and cut off that extra bit. Okay, let's grab our smaller piece of Night of Navy, and we need one of our red and yellow striped cards. We need one of the baseball cards, like that. Okay, now these are die cuts that you punched out, and you may have little extra pieces along the side. So hopefully you can see this little notch right there. I'm going to go ahead and trim off any of those little notches on both of these pieces. Okay, I do not want to have those showing. And I think I have them all. All right. So let's go ahead and we are going to take our red and yellow piece and we are going to glue that to the left side of this smaller Night of Navy piece, leaving about 1/8 of an inch border at the top, left, and right. Let's go ahead and glue our baseball card on. But you know what, before I do that, I want to add a little title to this. So I'm going to take this, and for this one, I'm going to use the sun words. For my original, I had Grandpa. Now this is something that is optional. You can add this or not. You could also write a person's name there if you wanted to. And so I'm just going to take this and I'm just going to stamp Sun. You're in quite a league of your own. And I stamp that in the Night of Navy ink. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the right side of the card in the center, leaving about 1/8 of an inch border on the right side this time. Okay, So now you can take this and just glue it straight to the card if you want, or if you want to add a little bit more dimension, you can use Stampin' Dimensionals. To pop that up a bit. And we're just going to go ahead and glue that into the center of our card. Then we have a piece of 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 Night of Navy. Let's go ahead and glue this card into the center of that piece to give it a nice border around all 4 sides. Just like that. Okay, let's add a little bit of bling to this card. So we have our resin dots that came with our kit, and we're going to put the yellow dots on the right side here. And I'm also going to put them on the left side. And the way that I get those straight is by putting it on a piece of our grid paper. I'm just going to line that up. Make sure that's nice and straight. And then I'm going to take my ruler and I'm going to place it right at the bottom of that dot. And then I'm just going to eyeball it and make sure that my ruler looks like it's pretty straight there. And then I'm just going to take this dot that's right at the bottom there. Looks like it's straight there. So let me put that one right there. And I'll do the same thing for this one. That looks straight. And we'll just add our bottom dot over here. Okay, so those look nice and evenly spaced apart. There we go. Okay, super simple card, but so cute. I love this card. So let's go ahead and decorate our envelope. And I'm going to decorate the inside of our card as well. So I want the colors to match. So I'm going to use Bumblebee, and I'm going to use our bat stamp. And I'm just going to take that and put one bat just like that. And I'm going to do the same thing here on my envelope. Move it up so you can see. Clean my stamp so it's ready for the next stamping. Now I'm going to use Night of Navy ink and our little hat stamp. And I'm going to stamp the hat just like this on both pieces. Now, if I had taken the hat and put it over the top of the bat, that bat is going to show through this little part of the hat here. I wouldn't want that. So if that happened though, what I could do is just take a Night of Navy marker and color that in, and that would look just great. You wouldn't see that bat through their hat. Okay. And now I'm going to use the All Star and Real Red ink. And I'm just going to put that down here in the bottom corner and down here on the inside so that matches. So now we have some nice color to the inside of our card, and we have a fun envelope as well. So there's the inside, there's the envelope, and there is the outside of our card. All right, let's move on to card number 2. For this one, you are going to need the soft suede card. You have a large garden green. You have a strip of garden green. You have a baseball diamond. Let's go ahead and get our baseball out, our baseball diamond out. And we need one of the bats. Now I wanted to show you, if you wanted to make more of these cards, it's super simple to just go ahead. And this is just a piece of white cardstock that I sponged with the smoky slate ink. And then I also made a baseball. Let me see if I can figure out which one it is here. And I made a baseball by just taking a circle and drawing a red line, and then I just did little V marks for the stitching. Okay, so we're just going to go ahead and stop there. But super simple to make more of these baseball diamonds and bats, or baseball diamonds and balls. And then you receive several of these bats, so you could make quite a few cards here. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you the best way to do this. All right, oh, we have one of the little red stripes here, so we're going to go ahead and glue that on as well, because that will help us determine where our channel should be. So the first thing we're going to do is I have marked this. This is the 4 1/4 inch side, and I have marked it at 2 1/8. And so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my cutter and I am going to put the corner here at the 3 1/4 inch mark and this dot right in the center of the channel. And I'm going to do from the dot down to the 3/4 inch mark over here as well. So when I cut it, it looks kind of like that baseball diamond. All right, so we're going to take this green strip and we're going to glue it into the center of the card base. And I'm going to go in the center about 3/8 of an inch from the top. All right, move that aside for a second. And we're going to take this piece and we're going to glue our baseball diamond to it. And I'm just going to put adhesive up here at the top. And I'm going to glue this on, but you know what, before I do, this is something that I forgot to do earlier. And it does look nice when you do it. So let me grab something to put down here. I want to sponge some of the garden green ink onto the front of this green piece. Okay, so I have a piece sponge that I used for my soft suede. I'm just going to grab that real quick and I'm just going to sponge the edges of this piece. This just gives it a little bit more dimension. I'm just going to go around like this. Okay, so we just have some sponging on there. Okay, now we can take our baseball diamond. Let me get this out of the way. And we're going to glue this to the bottom here. And I am going to go up about 3/4 of an inch onto the green piece. So this corner to here is about 3/4 of an inch. So on both sides. So we just want to glue that right on there like that. And didn't get on very straight. So let me see if I can straighten that a little bit. There we go. So we have a piece that looks like this. Okay, so it just looks like this on the back, this here. All right, let's go ahead and glue our red little die cut strip here. Once again, if you have any of those little notches showing, you might want to trim those off. There we go. And we're going to put this at the top here. And this is about 1/4 of an inch from the top and 1/4 inch from the right side. Just like that. Okay, now this next part you can do very easily by using the smallest rectangle stitch die. And you could just take this and cut a channel right in the center of your card here. But for those of you that don't have the rectangular stitch dies, you want to add that to your wish list because we use these dies all the time. But let me show you how to cut your channel without the die. So what you're going to do is you're going to put this at 1 7/8 inches, and I am going to cut from 1 inch down to 4 1/4 inches. So the 1 inch mark, or you can start it just below this red piece. So you don't have to cut through the red piece, just start it a little bit below the red piece and go down to 4 1/4. Okay, now I'm going to flip this over, take it to the 1 7/8 mark, and once again I'm going to go from 1 inch down to 4 1/4. Now when you get onto this base piece, your cutter is going to want to jump a little bit, so just be careful. If your lines do not match perfectly, you can just take a piece of Scotch tape to get it to where you want it to be. But mine are close enough, I'm not going to worry about that. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and cut this off or out. Okay, so I'm just cutting it there, and then I'm just going to cut it straight across here. Just like that. All right, so I've just removed that nice channel out of the center of our card. Okay, now let's put some Stampin' Dimensionals on here. Now, if you have the foam adhesive strips, this is what I would recommend that you use. These are a little bit taller than a Stampin' Dimensional and helps your mechanism roll a little bit better. But if not, you can take Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'm just going to put 3 dimensionals along the edge here, 3 dimensionals along this edge, and then I'm going to put 3 dimensionals near this channel. I'm going to go about 1/2 inch from the edge of the channel. On both sides. Okay, you want to have plenty of room for your mechanism to work. So don't get too close to this edge, but you want to give that edge some support. And I think I'm going to go ahead and put one down here. And then I want one here, one here, and I'm going to put one down here. Okay, lots and lots of dimensionals. Okay, now like I said, if you had our foam adhesive strip, one strip would probably give you enough to mount your whole card. So I'm pulling these off because we are going to put another layer of Stampin' Dimensionals. you want this to be 2 dimensionals deep. So now I'm going to go ahead and put another dimensional on top of each one of the dimensionals I've already placed. Okay, I need another sheet of dimensionals. Here we go. Okay, so now I have a double layer of dimensionals. And I can take this now and we're going to glue that to the front of our card. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this in half, burnish that edge, and now I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it to the top of our card here. So it looks like this. Okay, so you can see it's nice and tall and ready to go. Right, now you need 2 pennies. You may have missed that on the instructions. You need 2 pennies. You can use washers for this, or you could use cardstock, but the weight of the pennies actually makes the baseball. Let me grab the card here. Where'd it go? Here we go. This actually makes the baseball slide up and down and makes this just such a fun interactive card. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the pennies and we're going to put 1 stamping dimensional here, and we're going to sandwich the dimensional in the middle. Okay, so you're going to have a little penny Oreo with the stuffing in the middle here. Then we're going to take another dimensional and we're going to put that in the center of the top penny. And now we're going to take this penny and we're going to put it right in the center of our baseball. Just like that. Okay? So you have a penny, a dimensional, a penny, a dimensional, and the baseball. Now you're going to take this bottom penny and you're going to put it right into that channel. Just like that. And now your baseball will slide up and down. So fun. I love this. Okay. Oh, I just moved the camera. So sorry. Make you sick here. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry. All right, so there we go. Okay, let's decorate the front of our card here. We're going to take one of our little all-stars, and we have our stars that came in our kit. And for this, you need 2 of the large stars and 1 of the small stars. go. And we're going to go ahead and glue these on. Now you want to glue these on flat because you don't want anything getting in the way of your baseball here. So we're going to go ahead and glue one of the large stars to the left of our red strip here. Okay. Then you have the little star. And we're going to glue that to the bottom right corner here. Okay, you want to make sure that's glued nice and flat. And then for our all-star, we are only going to put adhesive on the back of the right and left side of this. So I'm just going to put some adhesive on the left and right side. Now someone asked earlier if you should pop this up. You could pop up the all-star, but you don't want too many things popped up because they'll get in the way of the baseball sliding up and down. So I'm just going to go ahead and put it flat on the card. And I want a little bit of the red showing at the top. It's okay if I cover my channel a little bit, but once again, you only have adhesive on the left and right. You don't want any adhesive below in this channel. Okay, so we have this. Let me get my cameras up just a little bit more here. I knocked it and got it all crooked. Okay, there we go. So now we have where it's not going to get in the way of our baseball. Now, if you want to stamp a longer title than I did, I put son on here. Dad would fit on here really well. But Grandpa, it might be a little hard to get Grandpa on here. I think you actually could from side to side, but it's going to look a little crowded. You could stamp Grandpa on your baseball here, but it would have been better to stamp it prior to putting it on here. But since I didn't, what I can do is I can slide something underneath here as a base, like one of our cardboard pieces. Here, I could slide this to help hold that and then stamp Grandpa on here. You can also write the name of the, I keep hitting the camera, I'm so sorry. You can write the name of the person on the baseball, all kinds of fun things that you can do here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and once again, I'm going to stamp this with son because unfortunately I don't have a father anymore. I don't have a grandfather, but I do have two sons, so I can send these to them. All right. It could be a friend card, so it could be an all-star friend. So I'm going to go ahead and just stamp son in the middle of my star. There's all kinds of words that you can use on that. And this one, I'm going to go ahead and pop it up on Stampin' Dimensionals. And I'm going to put 2 dimensionals on here just to give it a little extra support. But when I put it on my card, I'm going to put it all the way over to the right here so it does not get in the way of my baseball when my baseball slides. Okay? Shouldn't be a problem because we have 2 dimensionals on this and only 1 dimensional here. Okay, so we have that going there. Now I want my baseball to be all the way down to the bottom, and I'm going to grab one of my baseball bats and I'm going to put Stampin' Dimensionals on this only at the end. So I'm going to put dimensionals down here and dimensionals here. And for this, I'm going to use the mini dimensionals. And I can put a couple at this end. Like that. Make sure it's underneath the bat there. And then for this end, the dimension is going to be way too wide. So I'm just going to take the edge of my sheet here, and I'm just going to cut a thin little piece. Just a little notch like that. And I'm going to put that at the bottom here. Now this is a really cute idea for any sport. Sophia was saying that she's got nephews that play soccer, and it would be really cute to do this as a soccer ball and then have a little net down here. You could do a basketball going into the hoop. There's all kinds of fun sports that you could have this little ball rotating around. We have done this card before in the past where we've done flowers, we did frogs, we did, I think we did a turtle rolling across the card. There's so many fun things that you can do where your little piece is sliding back and forth. Okay, so now I want to place this bat down below the end of the ball so it looks like the ball is going to hit the bat. Okay, so we have this that just spins around just like that. Okay, let's add a little bling to this. So we have our resin dots that came in our kit, and we're going to add a few of these to our project. So I'm going to put a yellow one up here, a yellow one here, another yellow one here. But let's add some red as well. So we have this one here and this one right here. There we go. Super cute. Okay, so I looked earlier to see if we had any paper pumpkin kits that have stars in them, but the paper pumpkin kits are really old. They're from 2014 and 2016. I don't know if many of you would have those, but I'm sure you might have a stamp set in your collection that has stars. But if you don't, let me show you what you can do. I am going to take a piece of white paper. And I have my little, it could be any color, it doesn't have to be white, but white's the least expensive. I'm just going to punch a star there. And then I'm going to grab my smaller star punch. And I'm going to punch a couple of smaller stars, just like that. Okay, now I can take this piece, and I'm giving myself a little wide berth here. And let me grab a sponge. Okay, so I just have a sponge. You could also use the blending brush, which is actually even easier than a sponge. And I'm going to put paper underneath here to protect the surface a little bit. And let me just open this up. And I'm going to put this right down here in the corner. And I want to make sure that I don't go beyond those stars. So I'm going to just use a Post-it note or two to just check my surface a little bit here. Just like that. And now I'm going to take some of the Bumblebee ink, bring this up to where you can see it. My camera's all out of the wrong spot there. And I'm just going to take and sponge a few stars on the inside of the card, just to give myself a little color on the inside, just like that. Okay, you could stamp with your bat and your ball, or with your stamps, anything to just add some fun there. Let's go ahead and do the You're the Best, and I'm going to do that in Night of Navy ink. And I'm just going to stamp this right down here. Super cute with those stars behind it. Okay, but I have my envelope. I'm going to go ahead and add some stars to that as well. I'm just going to take my little template here and sponge some stars on the front of my envelope. And what I like about doing the sponging rather than the blending brush is that I'm getting that same texture that is on our card here. Okay, so I'm going to pull that off. That looks really cute, but I just love this little hat stamp. So I am going to go ahead and once again, I'm going to use the Night of Navy. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a little hat down here as well. So cute. So there we go. We have our envelope. Here we have the inside of the card. And then we have our fun baseball slider. So cute. Just like that. So there's our pieces. I'm going to look away for a second. I'm going to try to adjust the camera a little bit more. I'm a little bit too close here. Okay, so that's better for you. There we go. There is our second card. Okay, let's move on to our final card. And for this one, we need the one that has the red starburst. And we are once again going to trim that down. I'm going to take this, I'm going to fold it in half, and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch from the open right edge and I'm going to cut a 1/4 inch from the top. So you have these little pieces and you can save those and put them on the inside if you want, or use them to decorate a card later, or you can toss them in the trash if you don't need them. Okay, so we have our card here. We need one of our blue circles and we need a white circle. And I am not seeing my blank white circle here. So I am going to go ahead. I just stamped the You're the Best on this. And what's nice is I would recommend that you stamp this before you even start the rest of your cards. So this has a chance to dry. Sometimes the Night of Navy can take a little time to dry on our white paper. So this is nice and dry. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this right into the center of our blue circle. Just like that. Now sometimes my punches might give you a little bit of a rough edge. You can take a little sanding block like this and just go around the edge if you want, or you can take your scissors and just pull off any of those little raggedy edges that might be on there. My punches are getting a little bit old and they have been used a lot, so sometimes they want to not cut as smoothly as I would like them to, but easy fix. Right, so we're going to take this now and we're going to glue this to our card front. And I'm going to glue it where the bottom of the circle is at the bottom of this circle. I'm not putting it right in the middle. That's too low. I won't have enough room for my hat. So I'm going to bring this up as high as I can on that starburst. Okay, just like that. Okay, now we have our hat. And I have a hat here. Hold on. Here it is. So we have our hat. That is from the Hats Off. This is the Hat Builder die. This is a perfect stamp set and die to go along with your new Paper Pumpkin stamps. This is so great. It's so versatile. You can make a hat for anything. I want to make some hats for my UPS man, my mailman. These would make really cute scouting hats. Any kind of baseball hat, any color that you want. You could do your favorite team by just printing out the team's logo, use the color from your team and put that on here. There's just such a variety of things you could do. The stamp set itself has for the scouting, it has the space program, all kinds of things. The dad stamp, that's awesome. The #1 stamp. There's so many things that you can do with this set. Now, I have stamped one of my hats with the coordinating stamp set, but I want to show you, you don't have to do that to get this hat to look even better. What we're going to do is we're going to take this, bring over my little protective mat here. I'm going to take this and I'm going to use one of our blending brushes. You could also use a sponge if you wanted to. And I'm just going to take and add some texture to this hat with the Night of Navy ink. And when I do this, you're going to see that the stitching lines pop out more. The whole hat looks even better because it looks like it's a hat that's been used and worn for a while. And that's just going to take and add those detail lines for you. Okay. You could also take a marker and go around the hat to get this kind of look if you wanted to. But the easiest thing is to go ahead and get the matching stamp set. So I have the stamp set, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp this hat as well. I like having those detailed lines on here. So I'm going to take this and I'm just going to put it ink on here. And I'm just going to take this and I'm going to stamp it right on top of my die cut here. Voila, so cute. But you saw that the hat looked really cool even without that. All right, so now you have gotten a little label here to stamp whatever you want on the front. I have stamped Friend in real red ink, but I want to add a little sponging to this as well. So I'm going to take my sponge and I have my Smoky Slate ink. I'm just going to pick up lightly. I want to kind of take off the majority of that because I just want this sponging to be real light on here, to just dirty that up just a little bit. Okay. It was a little too stark white for this card. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and glue this to the front of my hat. Just like that. So cute. All right. And then for this, I want this to pop up, so I'm going to use Stampin' Dimensionals. And I like to use a lot of dimensionals because when I send it in the mail, there's less chance of this hat being scrunched in the mail if it's got a lot of support. So I'm going to take and add a mini dimensional down to this end to help hold that up a bit. And now I can go ahead and put this right down here in the bottom of my card. All right, let's go ahead and put this with a nice Night of Navy background piece. We're just going to put that right in the middle there. Okay, let's bling this up a little bit with some stars and some of our resin dots. So for this one, you need one of the large stars and two of the small stars. And we're just going to go ahead and glue these on. Now you can put these on dimensionals if you want to, but I wanted the hat to be the focal point, so I just popped up the hat and I glued my stars straight down to the bottom of the card. So we're going to put this one in the top right corner. This one in the bottom right corner here. And then this one I have in the bottom left over here, but I'm going to have it go over our circle just a little bit. Just like that. Okay. Then we're going to use our resin dots again. And we're going to put one resin dot here and there. Just to add a little more texture to that card. Just like that. Okay, this card is not about baseball, so I am not going to use the baseball items. I'm going to go ahead and just do our stars, if I can find my little template here. Oh, here it is. So I'm just going to once again put this down and do some sponging with the Bumblebee ink just to add some of these yellow stars. On the inside here. Just like that. And I'm also going to do that on my envelope. But this time on the envelope, I'm going to put it kind of here instead of the bottom corner, because this will be a nice little highlight when I address the card to the recipient. Just like that. And with the address written right in here, it's going to look really cute. Okay, so there we have our envelope. We have the inside of our card, and we have the outside of our card. So there we go. You are making 3 each of these cards. There's lots of ideas out there in the internet that if you want to make some different designs, you definitely have enough product to do that. But I have given you enough product to make 3 each of these 3 cards. So I hope you enjoyed these cards. I think they're really fun. I think they're perfect to send to our favorite men in our lives. And there we go. So thank you, peeps, for joining me for another day of stamping fun. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Don't forget we have Motivation Monday coming up in a couple of days. And then we will have our ice cream class in a couple of weeks. So really excited about that one too. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you later. Take care, everybody. Bye now.